Maintenant, je vais donner la parole à Mary Robinson, que chacune et chacun d'entre vous connaît et qui agit avec beaucoup de passion pour la lutte contre le dérèglement climatique et pour la défense des droits. Mary.
Merci, thank you. My first reflection, Mr. Chairman, is it's nice that there is a good gender balance the other way on this panel, because I'm sure every woman in the room noted the very male-dominated first panel, so I think this is a good step. And my next reflection is that the Climate Summit, which was convened by the Secretary-General last September, has injected a welcome new energy into the climate talks, reflected in this Lima Action Day. And I believe there will be action days in all future COPs. This dialogue between state and non-state actors represents the discussions we need to have in the negotiation process. A dialogue between governments, local authorities, civil society, business, indigenous people, women, local communities about the realities of climate change and the availability of climate solutions. We've heard that the science is clear. We've heard from President Calderon that it is important for every country to move on climate action. So how are we going to make progress in the negotiations? What does the word negotiation mean? To negotiate means to find a way over or through an obstacle or difficult discussion. It doesn't mean to stay in the same place and repeat established positions. We need to hear the diverse voices represented today in the negotiations. We need to bring the reality of climate impacts and the desire for clear policy signals and solutions right into the discussions. Real participation and real listening would inform the negotiations, where parties move closer to each other in an atmosphere of trust. Political leaders are elected to represent their people, and so many leaders come here to do just that. They amplify the voices of the citizens they represent, and they work very hard to secure a fair deal for their country. The process needs to respect these legitimate voices and act in a way that is commensurate with the urgency of the problem to deliver climate justice. We have the knowledge and the means to act. The generations that came before us didn't know that the actions they were taking were causing climate change. The generations who come after us risk inheriting an unsolvable problem. We are the generation that can make the difference. We are making decisions at these negotiations about who will live and who will die. What I heard from the speakers this morning is a readiness to act, and that climate action is good for countries and their people. There are transformative leaders for climate action in all parts of society. We need to support them and build their numbers so that we can continue to build momentum for a robust and fair legal agreement in Paris next year. Yesterday here in Lima, people took to the streets to march for action on climate change under a banner of fairness, human rights and justice. Here in the COP, vulnerable countries echo that call. As humanity, we cannot tolerate injustice. We're compelled by the empathy we possess as human beings to identify and connect with others. We need to use this empathy to motivate us to speak truth to power and to make brave decisions. We need, as never before, to act in our collective self-interest. We have an opportunity now, in the face of the climate crisis, to move away from business as usual and to rechart a course to sustainable development that is inclusive and delivers equity and dignity for all. Perhaps more than any other problems humanity has faced, climate change confronts us with the reality of our interdependence, the spaceship that Dr. Pashari talked about. No country alone can protect their citizens from the impacts of dangerous climate change. All countries and citizens must act in solidarity, motivated by enlightened and collective self-interest for a better future. A global transition to a carbon-neutral world can only work when it is done fairly. A human rights approach provides the framework necessary for success. If we're to avoid catastrophic climate change, we must make a rapid transition to a more equitable future, defined by a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights are realized. That is, after all, a world everyone is entitled to. So what I hope will happen now is that the very positive, very innovative, very generous spirit in this Climate Action Day dialogue will encourage real negotiations to find solutions and to take the decisions necessary here in Lima to take us forward to a successful summit in Paris. We can do it. Let's be infected by this dialogue. Let's do it. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, Mary.